that you're doing that today. Okay, fantastic. I think we're ready to go. So we're going to start in a easy seated position, just to kind of ground ourselves. I'm going to come into Lotus Pose, but you can sit in cross-legged however you like. The nice thing about Lotus Pose is it instantly allows you to heavy a little bit down through the knees so that you can feel your pelvis tilt. So if you're sitting cross-legged, it's tempting to sit back into your seat. See if you can just draw yourself up by tilting the pelvis. You place your palms around your waist, press the thumbs up to lift the back up, and you can feel your pelvis tilt forwards. And then can you draw your abdominal muscles in just slightly? It doesn't have to be feeling too constricted here. I just want you to kind of send a little kind of hello there to your central region, your solar plexus, and that again just helps you bring focus to the fact that you're going to be spreading your awareness for the next hour into the different areas of your body. So solar plexus associated with action, movement, so it's very, very apt to tune into that area now. And you might like to lower your lids just a little bit here, or soften your gaze so that you really feel like you can reel your senses in slightly. Now, because we practice in our own spaces, not in a yoga studio, as I usually say, if you have any interruptions during the practice, try and greet them with an openness rather than frustration. So what we want to do during the practice is to kind of really weed through our responses. If you're having a very negative response to something, try and just weed those negative responses out, and it might mean that you need to drop out of the posture. But what we really want to do is cultivate some really positive thoughts and feelings here. So if you feel something good, try and let that grow, that feeling grow, and let it expand through your whole being. Okay, so just take a quick little body scan. If you can start at the crown of the head, which reaches up to the sky, tilt your chin slightly, feel the length of the spine. And enjoy that sense of just letting your awareness go from your crown through to your brow. Notice whether you're holding tension there at your eyebrows, into the cheeks and the jaw. If you're holding tension in the jaw, try and relax the jaw a little bit. Let the tongue be soft in the mouth. Feel an openness as you trace down through your neck, and your shoulders drop down, down towards your waist, towards the earth. And as you feel more down towards where you're making contact with the earth, allow yourself to be almost bouncing away from the earth. So you draw down and pull up. You feel that having a steady contact with the earth helps you lift higher. Bring the focus into the hips. Perhaps you can relax through the pelvis slightly. See how that helps. So you may be able to curl the abdomen in as you do that. Relax the inner thighs, behind the knees, the calves, the ankles. And allow yourself to kind of start from a place of softness so that you begin to accept and allow movements. Okay, so this movement is negotiation. All right, let's just gently flicker the eyes open, and we'll take 3 breaths to coordinate breath and movement at the start of the class. So can you inhale and draw the arms up overhead, draw the palms together, and exhale, release down the center line. Lovely. You could do that 2 more times and see if you can really draw the movement and breath together. Inhale up. Maybe take a pause at the top of the inhalation and exhale down to the center. And 1 more time in your own pace. Really feel your lungs lift as you lengthen the side body. And exhale down to the center. Take a moment to pause, and then could you come onto all 4? So we're just going to run through a couple of the cat counts. Can you place your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips? You may like just to kind of take a few instinctive wriggles before you settle into a neutral spine. Inhale and let your chin look upwards. Let the belly melt down to the floor, and already perhaps take your focus to that center of the torso. So you feel a long stretch there, your organs can expand. And then as you exhale, start to rotate the pelvis so the tailbone tucks. And then can you take your gaze to the navel? And then repeat. So inhale, roll the shoulders down the back. And can you draw the chest through the arms, look up, lift up, push through the palms to feel the lift in the spine. And then exhale, rotate once again. Can you take the gaze to the navel and really think about rounding the vertebrae of the back here like an angry cat. So can you take a couple of these in your pace? So with your breath, you inhale and look up, draw the chest forward, drop the belly, lift the sit bones. Exhale, ripple through the spine, waking up all those vertebrae. You may like to lean forwards and backwards a little bit too. If you've got instinctive notions right now, please follow them. It's really nice to be able to hone your instincts with your yoga practice. So if you could come back to neutral spine, we're going to move on a little bit. Now, if you've got really sensitive knees and being on your knees like this isn't comfortable, you can always double over your mat like that or take 2 mats. So we're just going to now take the feet, make sure that they are hip width apart and that the lower legs are parallel. And inhale, let the left leg extend up and back, and then bend the knee 90 degrees. So the toes now point upwards. So you can feel probably that it's going to take a little bit of your abdominal muscles here to hold the leg up. If you take your palms to the back of your hips, can you make sure that your hips are parallel to the earth? So your left hip might want to peel up. So if you can draw it back down, that is going to engage your abdominal muscles more. And then we're going to do 10 micro lifts. Now this is to practice for the bow pose, Dhanurasana, but also we're going to have a go at dancer's pose today. And this kicking action is really important for both of them. And I want you to make sure that you kick without crunching your lower spine. So see if you can keep that left hip drawing down to the earth. When you've done 10, keep holding onto that knee, but draw it into the chest and just round through the back, so the forehead to knee. And then place down. And we'll repeat that, but on the opposite side. So can you extend the right leg out? Feel the abdominal region engaged. Bend 90 degrees, the foot draws up, and then 10 little pulses here. So you really want to keep your lumbar spine extended and long so that you avoid any crunching feeling there. Lovely. And when you've finished your 10, again, draw the knee into the chest, let the forehead come to the knee, round through the spine, and place the knees down. So we're going to extend the left leg, again, bend it up at the knee, and extend the right arm. See if you can draw the right arm behind you to catch your left foot. If you can do that, so you might need to really release into your right shoulder a little bit. If you can do that, I'd like you to start to kick just as you were doing before, but kick and hold. If you can't find your back foot, can you repeat the 10 repetitions that you did before? If you have got the bind, inhale, lift up through the chest. Enjoy the stretch through the thigh and the front body. Come back to your breath. See if you can count 3 breaths from here. See how when you focus on the breath, you calm the mind. And then release, and as we did before, just draw forehead to knee or an elbow in as well. Then we repeat that on the opposite side. So extend the back leg, the right leg this time, bend up 90 degrees. Just make sure that your palm is underneath your right shoulder for stability, and then blossom your left arm back to catch your right foot. So you can see it better this side, but my left hand is coming around the inside edge of my right foot, and then kick up into the bind. So once again, don't feel frustrated. Okay, enjoy where you are with your practice. Kick and lift if you can, otherwise 10 pulses. 3 breaths, so come to your breath and count 3 steady breaths. At the base of your third exhalation, round once again, draw the elbow towards the knee and the forehead in, and place the palms down. Tuck your toes now and just rock a little bit back into your toe mounds before you push up into your first downward facing dog. So you will need to walk your hands forwards and let your feet, again, check your alignment. Your feet come parallel, hip width apart. Check the spread of your palms. So your index fingers are drawing forwards, your thumbs are pressing into the earth. Inhale here. You may have softer knees, that's absolutely fine. Exhale. Count 2 more of your own breath. At the base of that last exhalation, inhale up your right leg and then let it plant towards the front of the mat, in between the palms. And then can you lower your left knee down and untuck your left foot. Inhale, draw your torso up, look up to your thumbs. And then exhale, we're going to place the left palm down and inhale a nice big circle with the right arm, perhaps again, so you feel the range of movement in the right shoulder. And then you reverse the direction of the circle. So if you're going backwards, you move forwards, and you do the same amount of repetitions on each side. Then can you place the palms once again to frame the front foot? Can you tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and step into a plank? So you can always drop down onto your knees if you prefer. Lower down to the ground. So come into your Cobra Pose. Let your elbows zip into your side body. Can you press your toes down into the air and let your knees lift up? So engage through the kneecaps. The fingertips want to be just underneath the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up. Sorry, the shoulders, not the shoulder blades. Exhale, hold it. Now inhale, can you also float your palms to make sure that it's your spine that is in action here? And then see if you can relax your glutes, so that will avoid any pinching sensation in the lumbar spine. So you might feel that your breath is different here. It's because you're compressing your ribs. So see if you can smooth the breath out just a little bit. Before you place your palms down, tuck your toes. And can you send your hips back towards your heels and float them back up one more time into downward facing dog. So this time we're going to step the left foot forwards and let the right knee come down. Untuck the back toes and inhale, draw up, Anjaneyasana. Lift the spine. Exhale, take the right hand to the inside of the left foot and take a nice couple of rotations once again with the arm. One way through the range of motion and then the other. Beautiful, everyone. Frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, and step back into downward facing dog. And then very simply, can you just walk yourselves up to the front of the mat. We're going to interlace the fingers behind hands, draw the wrists together, and let the fists come down as if they are going to touch the ground behind your head. Every time you inhale, can you cue your navel to draw in towards your spine? That might make you feel a bit longer in the torso. You may get a little bit more fold in your bend. Inhale, let the release come into the shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend through the knees, release the arms, and then allow them to draw up in front of you. And exhale into Tadasana at the tops of your mat. Now we're going to inhale, we're going to step the right foot back. We're coming into a high lunge, so toes are pointing towards the short edge of the mat. And then inhale, draw the arms up once again. So we're coming into a similar posture. We're going to exhale the right palm down to the inside edge of the left foot, and then blossom the left arm up. Lovely. Take a couple of breaths here. And on the base of your next exhalation, I'd like you to land your back foot. So your right foot, your outer edge is now touching the mat and your toes are pointing to about 2 o'clock. As you inhale and draw up into warrior two posture. So I'm just gonna turn around on my mat so that I'm mirroring you. I hope I'm mirroring you. Looking at the mirror. So it's your left leg at the top of the mat. Lovely. So enjoy the nice expansion that you're feeling in your warrior two. Then flip the front palm. Inhale and open up in the side body. Exhale once again. Cartwheel your hands down to the ground. Rotate your toes to the front of the mat. Step back into plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. So we'll just repeat that little sequence on the other side. Inhale, the left leg up and step it through. So, the left leg, right leg. The opposite leg, I've got myself in a real pickle now. Yes, it's the left leg you want to have towards the front of the mat. I believe. I might be wrong. Your other leg. Okay, and then we're going to, once again, no, it's the right leg, sorry. The right leg. Step up now into your high lunge with the right leg at the top of the mat. Thank you for your patience. So your high lunge. And then we're going to land the left foot to the inside edge of the right and inhale the right arm up this time. So twisting in the opposite direction. Inhale, lift, push away with your back heel. So your back leg is nice and active. And then we're going to exhale, land your back foot. So you're coming into your warrior two position, your front heel in line with your back instep, and inhale up into warrior two. So take a moment to check your alignment, that it's 90-degree bend above your ankle in the front knee. Flip the front palm and inhale, lean back so you feel the right waist opening up. And then exhale. Once again, we're going to frame the front foot. If you want to go straight into downward facing dog from here, please do. Otherwise, come through vinyasa. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Once again, you can step, walk, or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, draw up, lift up. Come to standing again at the top of your mat. So I'm just going to stand back a bit so that you can see. I don't know if you can see the top of my arms. We're going to interlace the fingers like the James Bond style. Inhale and draw the arms up nice and straight. Then come to your navel. Draw the navel in, and then can you tuck your tailbone under? Just check that you're not gripping too much with your toes. Let the weight fall through the back of the heel, the outer, the base of the little toe, and the base of the big toe. Inhale and grow up through the torso. Keep strong in the navel, and take a tiny standing back bend. So your fingers are pencils drawing a little line on the ceiling above you. Then exhale, keep length in the front body as you keep drawing that line in front of you. And come down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bend the knee. So we're coming into a chair pose. A couple of notes to chair pose. You want to always see your toes. So if your toes are overshooting, your knees are overshooting your toes, draw them back and sink your hips just a little bit further. So we're going to come and take a twist in your chair pose. Bring your palms to your chest and let them lift your chest just a little bit. Inhale. Draw the navel in away from the thighs. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the left elbow to the outer edge of the right knee. Now you might see my hips, I'm exaggerating here, have really started to shoot out. Can you just check with yours too and draw them back in line with your spine? So we can stay here for a few breaths. Just feel how that is. Breathe into the lower back, the lumbar spine. And if you feel you've got the space, perhaps you can even span your arms down and span your left hand down and your right hand up. So you expand in this twist, expanding twist. Okay. So wherever you are with this, keep the contact of your left hand and the outer edge of your right knee. Take the weight into your right foot, peel your left foot up and step it back behind you. So you come into a lunge. So a twisted lunge. So you can have either your palms together or your palms expanded. Find your breath, find your ease, find your confidence. When you're ready, can you once again place your back foot down so it comes and it really heavies in so that you can unravel and come back to your warrior two posture. So your right foot is in front. And then inhale, draw your right leg straight, and exhale, come down into triangle pose. Inhale, let your right waist keep drawing you up. Let your left arm lift you up. Be active right through to the fingertips. Can you line your nose and your thumb together in one line? And can you think about drawing your crown and your hips again into one line, so that image of being caught between two panes of glass, helpful for some, humorous for others. Lovely. So now I would like you to drop that top arm and you're going to walk your toes so you're facing the long edge of your mat. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Pad your arms forward. Just check that your hips are not dropping back further than your heels, the line of your heels. You might even like to pigeon your toes in slightly, really push down the outer edges of the feet. When you feel a nice sense of length and lift in the torso, then can you start to tilt the pelvis even more, bend through the elbows, and allow your neck to release. A little bit of a shaking out left and right is a good idea here. Allow this neutral position for the spine to be a chance to reset. See if you can find the ease here in the posture. Let gravity just draw you down. As you flush your head with fresh oxygen, hopefully feel revived. Ready for round two. Lovely. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, and then we're going to point our toes back to the opposite end of the mat. Step the feet back together. So once again, we're going to come into chair pose. Palms together. This time we're going to take the right elbow to the outer edge of the left foot. Sorry, the left knee. Once again, draw your hips back in line with the spine. And take your gaze over to your left-hand side. See how it feels when you take your focus to where your liver is. Can you really kind of turn your perception inside of you? And then allow your arms to blossom open if that's something that you enjoy exploring. And then we're going to get ready to transfer the weights into the left leg. So just peel up the heel to start with your right foot and then step it back. So you have that different distribution of weight now. So you're coming into twisted lunge on the opposite side. Oh, there's a fair bit of wobbling. Smile, greet it with kindness. So keep that back leg really nice and active. Push away with your heel. Feel the chest pull up towards the sky. So the left shoulder draws back, the shoulder blades meet behind the back. Nice and open in the front body, the twist in the midriff, the length in the back leg. Lots going on. Take your gaze down and plant your right foot so that you can come into your warrior two position. So just as a reminder, the front heel in line with the back instep, the back toes pointing to about 11 o'clock, then draw up. So you want about a leg's length distance in between your legs, and that's to ensure that you can get a 90-degree bend in the front knee over the knee, but not beyond it. If your knee goes beyond your ankle, you're going too far, you're going too short with your posture, so you need to lengthen it. So take a couple of breaths here and really feel how this warrior two is a contrast to that contraction in the twist. So now you can feel perhaps the blood is kind of rushing to the extremities from the central area where you were holding it before. Then we're going to straighten up through that front left leg and then hinge at the waist. So you remember that sensation of being pulled left and right like a tug of war. And then as you lower down towards that front leg, you either take your grip at the toe, the ankle, the shin or the thigh, but can you please avoid the knee? With your right palm, blossom your right hip open. Let your right hand float up so your left waist is doing some work. You might like to shorten your stance a touch here. See how that feels. And come back to your breath. Can you count 3 breaths yourselves? See how that just calms the mind. We're so good at saying to ourselves, if you're doing this well or you're not doing this well, see if you can just focus on the breath. Joy is in every breath. Peace is at every breath. Really, really good, everyone. So we're going to lower that top arm and frame the front foot with the palms. Rotate the back toes to face the top of your mat and step to the top of your mat. So we're going to inhale and rise up. Go easy because you've had your head lower than your heart. We're going to move into the standing sequence now, the standing balancing sequence. Now, if you have nearby a tea towel, a top, a yoga strap, if you're a real pro, we're going to perhaps need this. So I'll show you how to come into the posture with this, and then we can adapt. So we're going to take a moment to remind ourselves of a drishti. So drishti is a focus point somewhere in front of you, and it honestly doesn't matter what you're looking at, it helps if it's not moving. What we want to be able to do is focus on that point. So as long as you can feel held up by that sight. Sometimes I say close your eyes, and that tests your concentration because you're not looking as you're used to looking, but you can still hold that sense of focus. Lovely. So let's take the weight first of all into the left leg and bend the right knee and just draw it up to the chest. So let's give it a bit of a squeeze up front in towards the right armpit. Lovely. And while you're there, hold the foot up and just place the tea towel underneath the foot, and then can you take it in your right hand, and the left hand comes to the left waist. Now, what's nice is if your thumb is behind and your fingers are just cupping around the front of your waist. So then you can get a sense of the tilt in your pelvis. Try and keep your pelvis quite neutral in these standing positions. Can you now extend out your leg, hold your tea towel nice and taut in your arms, so push into that tea towel, have faith that it's going to hold you. Push into the tea towel, use the resistance. Now, if you prefer, what you can do is follow the same sequence that we're about to do by holding onto the knee. So you can keep the knee drawn into the chest. If you are enjoying extending the leg out, keep it extended with the tea towel and externally rotate with a straight leg. It's completely an option if you would like to keep the knee bent and externally rotate at the knee. So if you can now look in the opposite direction to your leg. Little tip here, if you think about your inner thighs drawing together, just create a nice sense of stability. Then we're going to bring that knee back to the front and draw it up into the armpit once more. Now, release from that. You might just want to shake out your legs a little bit, particularly your left leg that was taking the tension there in the standing posture. We're going to do something similar there. We're going to explore dancer's pose. It's not one we come to very often. It's one that you see in photos a lot, and I think it gives people a bit of a perception of where they should be. And I just want you to drop, shake out any nervousness about what you're about to do, and just see what it's like to play, because that's what we're doing. So I'm going to turn sideways onwards so that you can see from here what I'm going to do. So I'm going to draw up my right knee, just like we were doing just now. Then instead of taking the tea towel, I'm going to let my hands come down in front of the right foot. And I'm going to keep hold of my right foot with my right hand. So my left hand is free. And then drawing my heel in towards my glutes. This is the slightly tricky bit. I'm going to rotate my grip of my foot. So I'm now holding the inside edge of my foot with my right hand. Now if I just come back to the front, knees together. Keep your hips nice and parallel. So you remember earlier, I said don't try, when we were on all fours, try and keep your hips level. You're going to inhale the left hand up. Initiate that contact that's with your abdomen. The solar plexus is about to be really strong. And then kick into your back hand, just by increments. Kick, kick, kick. Try and keep the chest nice and lifted. You don't want to fall forwards too much. Just come forwards as much as you're kicking up with your back leg. So you want to keep the sense of your right hip drawing down to the earth as you kick into your backhand. If you feel any pain in your lumbar spine, bring your knee back to the front, hug it and lower it down. Keep thinking about drawing your knee into the midline. So you're thinking about keeping that right hip down. Find your drishti, come to your breath, 3 breaths. And then to come out, release the foot. Take it once again to the armpit and let it come down. So we're nearly done, nearly, on this side, and then we've got the other side to do. We're going to now lift up the right foot once again. This time we're going to take the right ankle over the left knee. Inhale the arms forwards and exhale, sit down into your imaginary chair. Keep your right toes drawing back towards your right knee, so like you've got Aladdin shoes on. If you want to, you can fold over your legs, palms down to the earth. When you're ready to release, let your feet come about hip width apart, this time toes pointing outwards. Draw your palms together and sink down into Malasana. You can wriggle a little bit left and right to ease through the hips here. Enjoy the sense of your whole spine getting a really nice vertical lengthening. So right down from the base of your spine, and when you press your palms together with your elbows on the inside of your knee, you can actually start to push up with your chest and feel that length really through to the crown. If you keep your chin slightly tucked, there's still nice space at the back of the neck. Come back to your breath and just observe any differences in your sensations or awareness right now. Remember this weeding that we do. If something is painful, of course, we listen to that. I'm not saying block out any painful things. It's more that kind of internal monologue of judgment or criticism, thoughts that are really not helpful. See if we can weed those out. Then we're going to place the palms, let some weight come into them, lift up through the hips, and we're going to repeat that standing sequence on the opposite side if you can bear it. So wriggle through the legs, maybe give them a bit of a rub up and down, get the oxygen going through them once more. And then a lot more of the weight going down, this time into the right foot. So if you want to, just take a hold of your tea towel. Once again, inhale, draw that left foot up now. Left knee up into the left armpit. Now nice and straight in your standing leg. If you have not got a straight standing leg, be honest with yourself. I don't want you to do any more than practice standing with a straight standing leg in this position. So you really need to be engaging with the kneecap, pulling it up. You can extend and then externally rotate if you wish. So play with where you are right now. And it might be that one side is easier than the other. It might be because we've gone through this before, that sense of foreboding has gone and you can be more open to what's happening. Wherever you are, whatever your practice is, enjoy it. That's what we're here for, joy. Bring the foot back to the center. And then draw the knee into the chest. So if you want to take a quick break here and place weight through both legs, you can. Otherwise, we can go straight into the little dancer's posture routine. So let your hands come down the legs to the top of the foot. Take a hold of the foot. Draw the knees together. Heel comes to your left glute. Then rotate your hands so you're now grasping your foot from the inside edge. Inhale, draw up the right arm. Feel length in the front body. And then exhale, start to just kick into that back hand. Keep the right hip drawing down. Don't let it peel up too much. Come back to your breath. Lovely, everyone. Try 3 to 5 breaths. And then when you're ready, come out again, draw the knee into the chest, slightly round through the back. Lower down, have a little shake. Again, come to stand on the right leg, draw the left knee up and hook it over the right knee, the left ankle over the right knee. Draw the left toes towards the left knee. We can either come into prayer pose or you can extend your arms out and sink down into your chair. So if you keep your weight sinking through your hips and your heel, it really helps with the stability. Draw your navel in and away from the thigh. And if you want to, can you come into that forward fold? Come back to your breath. And when we come out this time, we're going to keep the feet together. So you're still in a chair-like pose, your hips are dropped. Raise your arms up, sink your hips down, 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 down until you're on the floor. Draw your knees into the chest so that your feet are now hovering above the earth. See if you can extend your arms. Keep a drishti, so a gaze in front of you, a sense of lift in the chest. And then see if you can hover your legs parallel to the mat, or even straighten the legs up into Navasana. Smile. 3 to 5 breaths here. When you've done, you're going to move into the position where you're hugging your knees again. So you're still not touching the earth. Hug the knees in. Have a rest. And then repeat. Keep the chest lifting up. And then once again, draw the knees into the chest. And this time you can let your feet come down to the earth. Enjoy the sense of closeness and familiarity as you embrace yourselves. Perhaps chance for gratitude. Feel the shoulder blades draw apart. Breathe into the upper back. Now we're going to place the palms down and extend the legs out behind us. Zip the legs together, untuck the toes. We're going to refine Cobra Pose. So push the toes down into the mat and let the knees lift. So the knees are engaged and they're drawing up towards your thighs. Then we're going to engage with the navel, and it's almost as if you're going to draw the navel off the floor. Your elbows want to feel as if they're moving back to your waist all the time. Inhale and let the shoulders peel up from the earth. The shoulder blades draw together behind the back and float the palms. So from here, I'd like you to extend your arms behind you and interlace the fingers, draw the wrists together. Coming into Locust Pose. On an exhale, can you float your legs up? So nice, stretch through the chest. Your legs don't have to be high, just millimeters off the ground this time. 3 to 5 breaths. You can hear my voice, it's different because my lungs are squashed. And release, so let everything go. Let your right ear come to the mat. Let your toes come in, your heels come out. Your palms rest face up. And just have a prone Shavasana moment where you really release into the earth. Let go of any sense of effort or trying. So this is a prone corpse pose. A brief moment of not doing very much at all. Come back to your breath. The next posture in this sequence, we're going to draw one knee up and then draw it back into the midline. So what we don't want to have is the knee splaying out to the side. Draw the other knee up. Again, make sure that your knees are coming together behind you. So if you cannot catch your knees, your hands, your feet in your hands like you can see here, what I'd like you to do is release with your palms and just practice what we were doing on all fours, but both legs at the same time. So you're kicking up your heel with your knees, so your heels are moving in the air. That's really, really intense muscular precision. So you can do 10 of those and have a rest. If you can catch your feet in your hands, you're catching it so that your the heel of your hands is on the outside of the foot. Your fingers wrap around and catch the inside edge of the feet. Draw the knees together. Activate through the navel. Inhale, let the shoulders draw up and kick into the hands. So the knees are just coming just a tiny amount off the floor. You might feel your chest lift away and up from the floor, but you may also, as you kick into your hands, feel yourself roll further forwards on the chest. See what this is like for you. 3 to 5 breaths. When you're ready, release Let the legs, the toes fall in, the heels fall out. Palms face up to the side and the opposite ear this time on the mat. Release into the earth. Inhale and draw central. And then we're just going to push back into a wide leg child's pose. So let your knees come back with the toes together. And your arms can roll forwards as you drape your chest down. And your ribs expand. Your forehead comes down to the earth. Take 3 to 5 breaths. Again, noticing how you feel. You may be aware now that the arc of this session is moving towards the restorative practice. See how that knowledge changes how you feel. So if you could just lift your heads now up from the earth and keep your right hand extended down. Inhale the left arm so that you feel opening through the left side of the body. And then exhale, we're going to thread that left hand through, palm facing upwards underneath the right. So let the left shoulder come down to the earth. You feel a twist through the torso. The left ear rests on the mat. You can stay like this if you like, with the right hand extended out to the front. Or you can inhale the right hand up, open through the right chest, bend at the elbow, and go as if you're going to catch your left thigh. Then settle down into the posture. So there's some challenge, there's quite some wrapping going on here. But find your ease now. As you release through the shoulder, and get a bit of a twist through your spine. When you're ready to release from there, come out as you came in. So lift up the right hand, then extend it forwards. Press through the right palm so that you've got the ability to lift and unravel the left hand. And extend the left hand out in front of you. Inhale, draw the right hand up. So we're swapping over sides. Let the right hand thread underneath the left hand, palm facing up, right ear to the earth. You can stay here if you like. Otherwise, inhale the left arm up. Enjoy the opening in the chest and the shoulder. Bend at the elbow. And see if you can catch your right thigh. Come back to your jaw, soften the jaw, smile maybe even, send such good signals to our well-being. Soften through the hips. And melt into the earth. At the base of your next exhalation, let that right hand, that left hand just float up and extend forward once again. Push through the left palm so that you can take out your right hand and just neutralize by extending forward one more time. Your spine gets to lengthen as you reach forwards in wide leg child's pose. And use the palms to walk you upright. So walk your palms up towards you. And then sit over to one side so you can release the legs from underneath you and extend them out in front. So let your toes draw back towards you and just find your neutral spine here. So you may want to remove some of the padding from underneath the glutes if that feels good to you. Place your palms either side of your hips, press through your arms, Feel length and lift through the spine. So all the time your toes draw back towards you. You may even get a slight lift up through the heels. Enjoy the neutrality of the spine in this very simple position. They're very active though. Inhale, the arms draw up, lengthen through the body. And exhale, reach towards your toes. Stop halfway before you start to round your back. Inhale, lift the front body, length through the front body, lean the belly towards the thighs. Think about folding from the front body. And then see if you can catch your shins, your ankles, your toes. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, round through the spine. So let your head drop down. Your gaze goes to the navel and take 3 to 5 breaths that are focused on opening through the back body. So if my palms were placed on your lumbar spine, you would be concentrated on separating my palms, making your rib cage move in all directions. Maybe I'd be there smoothing out your shoulder blades away from each other so that the breath can grow in the upper back too. Feel yourself soften all the way from the backs of the legs, the backs of the ankles, the knees, the thighs, all the way to the back of your neck and the base of your skull. Inhale, draw up. And bring the torso back upright. Okay. We're going to draw the knees into the chest. And then I'd like you to make sure that your feet are hip width apart and walk your palms behind you. So your palms are about a hand's length away from your hips and your fingertips are pointing towards you. So another kind of juxtaposition here. From that nice folded position, we're going to just push up into quite an open tabletop. So just check with your elbows, placing weight through them. Push through the elbows, straighten through. Send the knees away from you and lift up through the hips. So nice and long and open in the body. Can you not let your neck drop back? So keep looking up in front of you, perhaps where the wall and the ceiling meet. In the space that you're practicing in. Draw your shoulder blades together behind the back. Feel that nice lift and openness in the front body. And then we're going to slowly drop down. So on a count of 5, 4, let the hips come down, 3, bend through the elbows, 2, and 1. Once again, hug the knees into the chest, but now roll onto your back. Let the knees come into the armpits, the toes together. And then span the arms out, shoulder height. Draw the knees in together once again. And then let the knees drop over to one side. So they're coming over to my left. And my gaze is going over to my right. So whichever direction your knees have gone in, let your gaze go in the opposite way. If it feels nice to you, you can bend the hand that's nearest to your knees and just place it on top of your top knee. So it might just give you the sense of being a little bit more held here in this twist pose, and you may release through the lumbar spine a little bit more effectively. So the closer your knees are to the chest, the safer the twist. Breathe now with a space into the lumbar spine region. Make sure that your shoulder on the opposite side of your knees is really heavying down into the earth. And then inhale the knees up to center. Take a moment to have a symmetrical spine before you come down to enjoy that same twist on the opposite side. So again, knees bent close to the chest. Opposite shoulder heavying down into the earth. You can place a hand on top of the knees, heavy through the knees. Release in the lower spine. Now it's quite nice in all the postures you do, but easier perhaps as you start to move into these slightly slower postures, Just to do a quick scan and see if you're holding any tension anywhere, and then use your breath to release that area of tension. See if your breath can be soft in the belly. Could be the tension is somewhere subtle, like in your little finger or your little toe. See if your tongue is pressing against your teeth or the roof of your mouth, and release it. All these habits can be checked anytime, in any posture, any time of the day. When we understand where these little habits come from, what's causing us tension, we can bring more ease into our lives. Now let's inhale, draw the knees back up to the chest, and we're going to exhale now into Shavasana. So if you'd like to place an extra layer on top, please do so now to keep the heat of your practice in. So let's just lift the hips and place them further down the mat, maybe a millimeter, maybe a centimeter, but just feel your pelvic girdle spread. So really nice contact with the earth. And then do the same thing with the shoulders. So move your shoulders further down towards your hips. Feel your shoulder girdle spread now into the earth. Your palms are face up, away from your body. Toes pull out. Now you can close your eyes if you like. If you are on a schedule, I believe we might move maybe 5 minutes over time just to really absorb the practice. If you need to be leaving now, make sure that you take just 3 nice breaths here before you move on. So if we all start with 3 breaths, I'd like you just to kind of accept these breaths as whatever they are. They don't have to be deep, they don't have to be long. Your belly doesn't have to be soft. See if you can find very ordinary nature to your breath. Often yoga is associated with some sort of mysticism, making it seem really aloof. But actually, when you practice yoga, and when you come back to it time and time again, what brings you back is not the connection with the seeking for some mysterious magic, but the connection with what is so special about the ordinary, about connecting with exactly who you are now. So see if you can take a few breaths now, really aware of the space that you're in, the vibrations that you're feeling all through your physical being, the state of your mental being. See if you can really fill the space with a sense of enjoyment about where you are exactly now. As soon as we drop trying and striving, we come back to ourselves. It's really good to remind ourselves, particularly when a certain roadmap has just been announced, that goals in the future, they might be something that you pin your hopes to, but it's much more beautiful to try and live every day really in the moment, really kind of trying to be as spontaneous and alive as possible to every opportunity. Living and breathing fully. Feel yourselves melt down towards the earth. The softness of your skin, your fascia and your muscles melting down. Release. Perhaps draw something to mind that's very ordinary to you, but also very special. Perhaps you can make it your intention this week to keep noting the special, ordinary things. And they may be very personal. Have a moment now where your mind, like your physical self, is doing very little. Wind it down. Accept a moment of nothing. And then when you're ready, inhale the arms up over the head. Draw the feet together and extend the toes away from you so you feel your length. You feel the sublime length of you on the ground. And then we draw the knees back into the chest and roll over onto the side. Inhale and gently come up. So you're kind of taking your surroundings in a fresh way, hopefully the ordinariness with a fresh sense of welcoming openness. Let's close the practice the same way we started it with those 3 breaths. Inhale up the center this time and exhale. Feel as if whatever you've cultivated in your class can grow. Twice more. Inhale up the center. Look up to the thumbs, feel your length, enjoy the space. Exhale, share. Great. One more time. Inhale. And open, exhale. Thank you so much for coming to the practice. Oh, it's always very, very nice to see you. And again, if you have any special requests, any feedback, it's wonderful to know. Otherwise, we'll hopefully catch up again on the mat this time next Thursday.
Thank you.